Norm, the Eskimos' defense is tops in the league. Across many categories, if not all of them, they're either number one or close to number one. They're have allowed the fewest yards, 269 yards per game average so far through the first 7 games. That's 20 better than next, the BC Lions, and they've allowed the fewest points as well.
And like 16 and a half points a game. Like, it's pretty good. Some of the Eskimos' defensive numbers this year are crazy. There's like 3 teams in the last 25, 30 years have had numbers like this. This Eskimos team, the 1989 Eskimo team, which went 16-2, and had some great players. Danny Bassett, middle linebacker. Larry Ruck was on that team. I think Jeff Braswell was also in the linebacking core. Toaster Williams on the defensive line.
Coached by Don Matthews.
Stuart Hill was on the line. But that was such a great team. They had incredible numbers, and they didn't win the Grey Cup that year.
Yeah. Saskatchewan, hey.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah, but they had such a great regular season and just so dominant. I mean, this Eskimo team, not the same type of team, but the defense has been really impressive this year.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we were talking about the linebackers and the defensive secondary for the Eskimos have been outstanding so far. Yeah,
and the defensive line. The defensive line got a lot of sacks early. They still put a lot of pressure up. But, yeah, the line, McCoyle's come in to replace Sherritt. And although Sherritt's back practicing this week, I don't know how you take the rookie out because he's played really well for them. Rennie Kern at middle has played really well. They had to replace. They had Samuels playing outside linebacker. He got hurt. They brought in Otha Foster who was playing in the secondary as an injury replacement. He moved to linebacker. Played well. And Samuels is back at practice this week. And the secondary has been playing well. They had a rookie on the corner last week,
Alonzo Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. He made a big forced the fumble in the last minute on former Eskimo receiver Matt Carter in the last minute inside the 10-yard line, and the Eskimos marched down the field and scored the winning field goal. But yeah, they've had players stepping up all over the place.
Yeah, and that speaks to the ability of Paul Jones and Hervey to find these guys in the middle of the season, or at least have them stashed away somewhere.
Well, what's even crazier is that they've had a ton of injuries. They've had the Eskimos. If Tony Washington doesn't play this week, he's the 12th starter that's come out of the lineup this season for at least a game, and most of them are on defense. I think at least seven or eight of those players were starters on defense, and they're still playing great.